Hey there, West Michigan. Thanks for watching 13 Plus. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens. It's been a cloudy, gray Wednesday across the region, but at least temperatures have started their rise. We'll continue our warming pattern as we head into the start of the end of our week. Thursday looking much warmer than even what we had today. High 40 Grand Rapids, 42 Muskegon, 40 in Holland as well. That's pretty close to average for this time of the year. Pretty close to our forecast too. Told you 38, hit 40. That's inside 3 degrees now. 6 days in a row of just 6 misses in the last month of forecasting. When it comes to tomorrow, like we said, our temperatures continue upward. That's why 13 Weather Ball is lit up in red as warmer temperatures are ahead.
The 13 Weather Ball is sponsored by LaFontaine Lincoln Grand Rapids.
And those temperatures tonight not going to be so bad either. It's the southwest flow that's going to keep things mild. Temperatures right now closing in on about 34 here in Grand Rapids. We're approaching our low for the overnight period already as of about 10:20. These winds coming in from the southwest will cause temperatures to rise as we head through the overnight. And in fact, we're looking at temperatures that stay in the mid to upper 30s by the time we head towards sunrise on Thursday. A partly cloudy start to the day, mostly sunny by the end. It's going to be a comfortable day up into the mid 40s. Temperatures stay mild tomorrow night as well, only falling back down into the 40s and upper 30s with temperatures that'll push their way to as high as 52 with some additional cloud cover by the time we head toward Friday. Between now and sunrise Thursday, though, can't rule out a stray flake or a sprinkle. In fact, you can see some of those on the radar here this evening. Stray little bits of flurry activity, sprinkle activity. This is all very light, just a small disturbance that's coming across Lake Michigan. Behind that, though, is the clearer weather. You can see a break in the clouds back toward Minneapolis and over into Iowa. That's going to be heading our way as we head through the next 24 hours. Let's go and track things hour by hour. We're looking again at a few flurries, a few sprinkles that pass through tonight and into the early part of Thursday morning, but by sunrise, that's all gone. We start the day partly cloudy, mostly sunny at times during the afternoon. It doesn't last too long, though. We build cloud cover back in as we head into the day Thursday night and into the day Friday, with mostly cloudy skies expected for Friday. We stay dry throughout the day Friday. That's good news. The other good news is the southwest flow continues into West Michigan, and that puts temperatures into the 50s by Friday afternoon. We continue southwest flow into the weekend, and even though rain comes in as we head towards Saturday, our temperatures continue to warm. We'll be in the mid 50s by Saturday afternoon. Scattered showers possible throughout the day as this system pushes by. Note the wind change heading into the evening. That'll bring much cooler temperatures on the way for Sunday. It's going to be a stark difference from the beginning to the end of this coming weekend. Temperatures out there for Thursday hanging around 40s on the lakeshore, as warm as 48 in South Haven. Those temperatures in the northern counties only hanging around in the mid 40s. Seeing a similar picture as you head to Grand Rapids, 46, high of 48 down in Kalamazoo. 13 on your side, 10-day outlook. That's where we see temperatures again climbing the ladder as we head through the next several days. Our temperatures start to drop after that system pushes through on Saturday with the rain. We fall to about freezing Saturday night and only recover to 36 for Sunday afternoon with a mix of rain and snow lingering around. After that, a dry pattern starts, but a fairly close to average pattern as well. Temperatures only in the mid to upper 30s and low 40s after we get past Saturday. And there was an unidentified flying object that landed in Grand Rapids, just to the north of Grand Rapids on Monday, and it was a team effort to bring it back down to Earth. 13 on your sides, Nate Belt reports on just what this UFO was and where it came from.
3, 2, 1.
And just like that, this weather balloon began its journey from Nakusa, Wisconsin.
Our goal for this project was to send it to Europe.
Intended to go across the pond from the middle schoolers at Central Wisconsin STEM Academy all the way to Romania, except it only made it across a much smaller pond.
I think it went about 250 miles and it took about 8 hours.
A pit stop on the other side of Lake Michigan, landing in this tree in Townsend Park near Rockford. When the class got its GPS coordinates,
I looked for the closest middle school because one of our intents was to connect to another school, if possible.
Chris Goodwin emailed East Rockford Middle School. Fellow science teacher Christine Blasky jumped into action.
We found it pretty quickly, way up in a tree. So the next thought was, okay, so now what?
She got in touch with Cannon Township Fire Department, but the balloon was too high. Plainfield Township Fire had the solution and was happy to help.
When people call us, it's usually 90% of the time it's the worst day of their life, and that wears on our guys. So whenever we get a chance to do something simple, civic-minded, community-minded, we take that opportunity.
The firefighters impressed with the students' work.
It was actually real cool. I've never seen something like that.
Whose scientific journey, just like their balloons, is only just beginning.
We're going from scratch and playing with different ideas, and that's what makes what they're doing unique and special.
Here's Why with Michael, sponsored by the Bugs exhibit at the Grand Rapids Public Museum.
Now, that Wisconsin science teacher says he'll make the drive to Michigan and bring that balloon back so his students can work out the kinks and hopefully get it over to Europe. But this is one of just many weather balloons launched each day. But have you ever wondered why? Well, let's take a closer look at some of the reasons. The map that you see here on the screen is a map of all the National Weather Service locations across the country that launch weather balloons at least 2 times a day, sometimes more if there's severe weather or winter weather in the forecast. And what exactly are they using these balloons for? Well, it's all to collect weather data. To figure out what it's doing, we first got to break down what exactly is in a weather balloon. We have our 3 main parts here, including the balloon, which is a 5 to 6 foot wide balloon filled with either helium or hydrogen, a parachute so this whole device can come back down to Earth safely, and something called a radiosonde. That's the package on the bottom of a weather balloon that's actually collecting the weather data. Now, when we send these balloons up into the atmosphere, they can go quite a long way, including up to 115,000 feet or more into the air, ascending at about 1,000 feet per minute, and they can drift up to about 125 or more miles away from the place they're launched. The entire time they're rising through the atmosphere, they're collecting data, including wind direction, wind speed, temperature, dew points, and pressure. Now, that data it's collecting is sent back through those radio waves to the surface, and we get a graph like this. Temperature in the red line, dew point in the green line, also again showing us the wind data. All of that information fed back into our weather models, and it gives us an idea of what the atmosphere actually looks like through all the levels. From there, we can take that information and make maps like this and project the current conditions into the future for a better idea of what's actually happening with our weather systems. As we mentioned with winter weather, you also want to know that temperature, because the temperature up and down throughout the atmosphere determines what kind of wintry precipitation you can get. And with data from weather balloons, we can tell if it's snow, sleet, freezing rain, or just rain. And while it may seem archaic in the year 2023, weather balloons are actually still a very important part of daily weather forecasting. And we're getting closer to Santa coming down the chimney, but first you'll have to avoid the Grinches that are trying to steal Christmas. Brandon Lewis from our Verify team looks at how to avoid some of the biggest scams that are out there this time of the year.
Scammers are up to their old tricks with some updated tactics for the holidays to separate you from your money and personal information. So we're going to show you how to spot some of the most common scams using these sources. First up, you'll want to use caution when doing your shopping online. Scammers sometimes set up fake sites that look like real businesses to steal your information or convince you to download malicious software. Here's an example of a scam shopping website that we created. It may even imitate a brand you recognize. How can you know it's a scam? First, check the URL and make sure it's spelled correctly. Then, make sure you end up on a secured website, which is indicated by a lock icon to the left of the URL. Next, be suspicious of unusually low prices. Scammers hope you'll ignore any concerns you have about the site to save a few bucks. And finally, be careful if the site requires you to unexpectedly download software or asks for too much personal information, like your social security number. Scammers also know we're doing a lot of online holiday shopping, so watch out for fake shipment notifications. These are usually phishing emails or texts with links that may allow someone to access your personal information or ask you for money to release a shipment that really doesn't exist. Here's one example that was sent to us by a Verify viewer where a scammer claims their package can't be shipped because of a mistake in their zip code. It asks for some personal information and later a redelivery fee. So, how do we know this is a scam? First, the link in the text message does not go to USPS's official website, which is a big red flag. Next, the Postal Inspection Service says if you never signed up for a USPS tracking request for a specific package, then don't click the link. Carriers leave an official notice in your mailbox when they can't deliver a package. The USPS also doesn't charge a fee for redeliveries. If you're not sure if a tracking message is real, try taking the tracking number provided and doing a search for it on the Postal Service's or other carriers' website. Finally, if you're ever unsure about a suspicious message, contact the retailer directly using a trusted method like their official phone number, email address, or chat feature, and not using the information in the email or text. You can also report scam messages to your state's Consumer Protection Office or the Federal Trade Commission. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
And one thing that is certainly not a scam is the Toys for Tots drive, and they are in need of your help. If you can help out those kids in need this holiday season, we're continuing to collect donations, and we're asking the community to donate new unwrapped toys that will go toward families across West Michigan. You can text TOYS to 616-559-1310 to find drop-off locations and to see our Amazon wish list. Now you're up to date with the latest forecast and some weather news from around here in West Michigan and just across the lake. You can always find more online at 13onyourside.com or by downloading our news and weather apps. For now, though, thanks for watching 13 Plus. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens.